Hello, this is Paulo Pasos, and I am creating some clinical documents for the EHR server. So I thought, why not sharing the process that I'm following to create those clinical documents? And a lot of people also asked me about how to use the tools to create those clinical documents. So in a very brief video, I will show you how to do that. So the idea is I'm creating clinical documents for the EHR server. That is a tool for managing clinical information and sharing clinical information between systems, and that implements the openEHR standard. So the openEHR standard allows us to define the clinical documents outside the software and make the software in a generic way. So the EHR server is basically a clinical data repository with a REST API, and inside it is totally agnostic in terms of what data is stored, specific data about specific clinical document structures, and those clinical document structures are defined as openEHR operational templates. So the idea first, when you're creating your clinical document structure, is you need to have a clear idea of the information that you will need in that clinical document. So basically your information model. So what I do is I have like the basic idea. So I need to model a simple encounter. That is an encounter with a clinician that will include the reason for encounter, some vital signs information like heart rate or pulse rate, height, weight, respiration rate, body temperature, blood pressure, etc. Then information about physical examination and a diagnosis. It's a very simple clinical encounter document. Yeah, very simple, but you can make it as complex as you want. So what you do first is you try to, for those, let's say, concepts, we are dividing this in concepts, not in data points, because each concept can be complex and have a lot of data points. So the idea is you imagine your document in concepts at this level. Then you look for archetypes, openEHR archetypes, that are models of concepts and model the internal structure and the constraints and the terminology that needs to be used by those structures and those concepts. And you start looking for them in the CKM. The CKM is the clinical knowledge manager from the openEHR Foundation right now. And what I found is these are archetype IDs that match with my concept. So I have an encounter that is a composition that is a clinical document in the openEHR information model. So that matched perfectly with my concept of encounter. So I have an evaluation reason for encounter archetype that matched with my reason for encounter concept. So all this way, and I have a lot of vital signs. Let's say we have individual vital signs. Each individual vital sign can have an internal structure that can be complex. So it's not just a data value, it's a data structure. And all of those will be grouped in a section. Section is like a grouper in the openEHR model. So there is a section, vital signs there. So I will just put this in white, that matched with my vital signs section concept idea. That is only an organizer. So think of that as a heading in your clinical document on paper. Yeah. We have a physical examination recording also. There is the exam document and product diagnosis for the diagnosis in the document. So the document can be more complex and you can include more information. So what is the CKM? I will try to share my screen to show you the... I'm using a virtual machine because the tool that I will show you after this, it runs only on Windows. So I have a Windows virtual machine on my Linux machine. So this is the CKM, and you can access it through ckm.openehr.org. This is the clinical knowledge manager of the openEHR Foundation. And what you can do here is, let's say, I want to model. In my model, I have the blood pressure as a concept of my clinical encounter document. So if I go here and type blood pressure, enter, and I check the results, and I got the first result is just what I wanted. Is an observation document that is to record things that can be measured, and it's blood pressure. So I click here, and the archetype is open. The archetype has an internal structure that is complex and has a lot of data points and information that I can record. But the idea is this is a complete concept. So, and you can select specific parts of the concept to use on your document. So I will just pick the systolic and diastolic data points for my clinical document. So what you do when this archetype match your concept for your clinical document, the model that you're creating, you go here to export archetype, and you click here to download or export the archetype in ADL. This is the archetype definition language. I already did that for all my the archetypes for my concepts. So here I have the encounter, I have the section for the vital signs, I have a lot of vital signs here, clinical concepts, definitions, those are archetypes. I have the reason for encounter there and the diagnosis there. So I have the archetypes. Now, to create the clinical document definition, that is the operational template, you open the template designer. The template designer, just Google openEHR tools, and you will find the first link will be to the openEHR modeling tools, and there you can find the file to install the template designer. So basically in the template designer, what you do when you have all your archetypes come first. Your archetypes are like a basic piece, the basic pieces of the Lego bricks, and the template is a form, something you build with those building blocks. So you want to create a full clinical document definition using small pieces, yeah, that are already there. Also, you can, if you don't find your an archetype that models the specific concept that you want to include in your document, you can create your own archetypes using a tool that is the archetype editor, but I won't show the archetype editor on this video. I will show just the template designer. So the first thing you do is go to tools, knowledge repository, and I will add a new repository that is the folder where I stored all the documents that I download. I will here. This is a repository list. This is not allowing me to add any. It seems like I hit the some kind of limit of repositories, so I will just delete a couple. Good. So you will have just one repository here by default. I have a lot of them, so just click on Add New, and this will be EHR server production, because I'm creating the production operational templates or the clinical document definitions. So the folder will be this one. This here, this here, this here. You need to fill the three with the same. You need to fill the three and with the same path. That is the simplest way to do it. And just close this. And here you have an icon to select the repository, and repository production is the current selected one. And if you go to composition, you will see our encounter composition there. And what this is all archetypes. So here you have all the archetypes in your folder, and this organizes the archetypes in the structure from the openEHR model. So I don't have these real folders, but this organizes my observations in the entry observation folder. Yeah, these are virtual folders for the template designer. So the first thing you do is you get the composition, that is the archetype that contains all the other archetypes, and you just drag and drop. Yeah, and this starts to create the final document definition, the operational template that we need. After that, I want the reason for encounter. So that is an evaluation, and the reason for encounter is here. So I will drag, and you will see that one of the nodes here highlights in green. That is an archetype slot, is where you can drop archetypes, and it highlights where you can drop the archetype you selected. So I will drop the archetype there. Below that, I want the vital signs. So I will drag the vital signs node there. That is the section. I want the reason for encounter above the vital signs. So I just move that. And then I want to put all the vital signs there. So I will have respirations on the green one. Good. This has, an internal structure. I will heart rate here. I select, I drop on the same green node. Okay, we have a lot of data there. Physical examinations. This will go outside the vital signs. I will put indirect oximetry. It's not there, but this one is, yeah. Sometimes it is not highlighting the node, but you can still drop it there because it should be there. Let's see this height, body weight. This one also. Weight should be there. Body temperature should be also there. So it's not highlighted, but it doesn't. It still allows you to put that archetype there, and this is highlighted because it has a direct reference to the blood pressure. Good. And I still want to put indirect oximetry there. Good. Below that, I want physical examinations. So below, vital signs. Great. And after that, I want the problem diagnosis. So this is to record some diagnosis on the clinical document, and that's it. So basically, that's it. If I want to remove, let's say, vital signs, blood pressure, I don't want to use the protocol, so I can put this on hide form or on HTML. If I don't want to use like this event, I put 0 occurrence there. I don't want to use the state here, so hide here. And the data, I just want systolic and diastolic. So I go 0 occurrence, 0 occurrence, 0 occurrence. So what I'm doing here is selecting which nodes I don't want to be on my final clinical document definition. And I can do that for every node here. So I will do that after, but this is the basic interaction with this tool. So the next is you want to put a template ID. You select here encounter, and you will see here the top node template properties, and here on the name for this template, I will put simple encounter. This is in English, and this is version 1. I will put version 1 as a dot, version 1. And I will save that. This will save, I will save this here. This will save in an OET format that is the source that you can open again on the template designer and just edit it if you want to edit the template. And what we want is to export the operational template. So you go you need to select the template properties, because if you select an intermediate node, it won't appear, the option. File, export, and here you have operational template. So you do this, it will put here the same ID. We want the same ID here, B1, etc. .opt. And here you need to search for the specific location. It doesn't put the location automatically, so I want this to be on the EHR server folder, OPTs, production, and here, because it's the working folder for this clinical document definition, I will put OK. And what this will do is, first, if I just look at the OET file, it has just the references to the archetypes following the structure that I defined. But if you export the OPT, what it will do is it will flat all the structure and the references, and will resolve the references and have all the constraints and data structures from the archetypes inside one file. So you can see that the OET file is 4K, 4 kilobytes, and the OPT is 500 kilobytes. It's because this has all the structures. So this is all the information from the archetypes on one file. And you can feed this to the EHR server, and the EHR server will be able to store information that complies with this clinical document definition, and then query that information out. Yeah, so that is the basic interaction, the basic way to use this tool, and it's the way that I use the template designer. So I hope this video is helpful for you. If you have any questions, you can just ask on the comments here on YouTube. Leave the comments, and I will try to. I will create another video to show how the EHR, the archetype editor works also, and how you can create your own archetypes, and you can translate archetypes that exist into your own language if that is not available. So there are a couple of tools to do that. So this is the working with the template designer to create clinical document definitions using openEHR. So this is compliant with the openEHR standard. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Bye-bye.